The small village of Rupnagar sat nestled beside a beautiful but wild mountain river in rural Asia. For generations, the river provided water for fields of emerald green rice, but it also cut the villagers off from the nearby town where the hospital and markets were located. Every monsoon season, the old wooden logs they used as a crossing would wash away, leaving the children unable to go to school and the farmers unable to sell their crops. The community was poor, and the local government lacked the funds to build a permanent stone bridge. After a particularly bad storm stranded a sick child on the wrong side of the river, the village elder, an old man named Dada, called a meeting under the giant banyan tree. He looked at the anxious faces of his neighbors and declared that they could know. The next morning, the village was filled with doubt. Many families could barely afford 2 meals a day, so the idea of building a massive stone bridge seemed completely impossible. A young farmer named Ramu stood by the riverbank, staring at the rushing water with a heavy heart. He wanted to help, but he had no money to buy expensive cement or iron bars, and his small plot of land required his constant attention. Dada walked up to him, placed a gentle, weathered hand on his shoulder, and whispered that nobody was asking for miracles. "A mountain is made of tiny pebbles, Ramu," the elder said warmly. "If you cannot give gold, give your sweat. If you cannot give a whole day, give an hour." Inspired by these words, Ramu decided he would spend every single sunrise gathering large, smooth rive. Word of Ramu's solo effort quickly spread through the dirt paths of Rupnagar. Shanti, a widow who ran a tiny tea stall near the village entrance, watched the young man carry heavy rocks on his back until his shoulders bruised. She knew she was too frail to lift stones and too poor to donate coins, but she refused to sit idle while others worked. Shanti decided to use her modest kitchen to contribute in her own way. Every afternoon, she boiled a large pot of fragrant spiced ginger tea and gathered whatever leftover puffed rice she had in her jars. She walked down to the riverbank, offering refreshment and a cool resting spot to Ramu and the few others who had joined him. Her simple gesture brought a wave of comfort, turning an exhausting, lonely chore into a shared moment of community care. Seeing the growing pile of stones and the dedicated workers, the village blacksmith, a burly man named Arjun, felt a deep sense of responsibility. Arjun had been struggling to keep his workshop afloat due to the rising cost of coal, and he felt ashamed that he couldn't contribute funds for the bridge's construction. However, he looked around his messy shop and realized he possessed something just as valuable: skill and tools. He gathered scrap metal pieces left behind from old broken plows and cartwheels. Working late into the night by the glowing orange embers of his furnace, Arjun hammered and forged strong iron clamps, thick nails, and sturdy hinges. He brought these heavy bundles to the riverbank, providing the essential structural pieces needed to securely lock the heavy river stone. The momentum grew, catching the attention of the local schoolteacher Meena and her enthusiastic young students. Meena knew the children could not lift heavy rocks or work with dangerous blacksmith tools, but she wanted them to understand the power of collective effort. She turned the bridge construction into a daily practical lesson. Every afternoon after classes ended, a lively line of children marched down to the river, singing traditional folk songs. They formed a long human chain, passing small buckets of sand and fine gravel from the riverbed up to the construction site. Their small hands moved quickly, filling the gaps between the large boulders Arjun and Ramu had set. The children's bright laughter and high energy completely transformed the atmosphere, making the grueling physical. Even those who could not leave their homes found unique ways to join the effort. Old grandmother Kamala sat on her porch every day, her eyes weak but her fingers still incredibly nimble. She had spent her entire youth weaving traditional bamboo baskets and mats for the village. Knowing that the workers needed a way to transport sand and stones efficiently, she asked the local boys to fetch fresh bamboo stalks from the nearby grove. With practiced ease, she split the green wood and wove dozens of sturdy, deep baskets, reinforced with double-thick rims to handle the heavy weight of the river rocks. She also stitched together old jute sacks to make comfortable shoulder pads for the lifters. Her tireless work from the porch ensured that the active laborers had the reliable tools they needed to. As the bridge began to stretch across the wide water, a wealthy landowner named Gopal Babu rode past on his horse cart. Gopal Babu was known for being tight-fisted, and he initially scoffed at the villagers' messy, handmade project. But as he watched the poorest families giving their absolute all, Shanti pouring tea, Kamala weaving baskets, and children carrying sand, his stubborn heart began to melt with shame. He realized that his wealth was meaningless if it did not serve the people who worked his fields. Gopal Babu climbed down from his cart, walked over to Dada, and pledged to pay for 3 heavy trucks of high-quality cement from the city. He also ordered his own strong oxen to help pull the largest boulders out of the deep water, giving the bridge the unbreakable foundation it truly did. After weeks of sweat, unity, and unwavering determination, the final bucket of concrete was smoothed over the top arch. The new bridge stood proud and strong, beautifully spanning the wild river that had divided the region for centuries. The entire village gathered for a grand celebration, decorating the stone railings with bright orange marigold garlands and colorful mango leaves. Children ran across the sturdy structure, laughing happily because they would never miss school during the monsoons again. Farmers proudly wheeled their loaded carts toward the town market, their hearts light and full of hope. Dada stood at the center of the bridge, looking at the beautiful creation that was built not by a wealthy contractor, but by the combined spirit of a poor community. The moral of the story: true help is not measured by the grandness of the gesture, but by the willingness of the heart. When a community faces a challenge, no contribution is too small or insignificant. Each individual possesses a unique resource, whether it is strength, skill, time, comfort, or material wealth. Success is achieved when everyone helps to their best possible extent, proving that many small drops of water collectively form a mighty, unstoppable ocean.